Chapter 2. A short life sketch of Swami Shivananda. O children, please do not be impatient. You want to know why I have taken so long to explain to you the fundamental needs of divine virtues to lead an ideal life for attaining God realization. Unless I give you some idea of the preliminary moral teachings of peace and love, how can you understand the life and teachings of this dynamic sage of India, our spiritual teacher Swami Shivananda? Yes, listen, children of immortality. This great saint, my beloved master, took his birth in a small place called Pattamadai on the holy banks of river Tambraparani in South India. The most auspicious and sacred day was the 8th of September 1887. His mother was Sri Parvati Ammal and his father was Sri Vengu Iyer. This little baby was named Kuppuswamy. He belongs to the family of Appaya Dikshitar, a highly cultured, scholarly, orthodox lineage. Kuppuswamy, being the youngest in the family, was the pet and was much fondled by all. He was a brilliant boy in the school and always stood first in the class. His friends used to worship him. He always had a generous and loving nature. His teachers also liked him. He was good at games and other sports. Young Kuppuswamy passed his matriculation examination at the age of 16 and joined the medical college at Tanjore. With his spirit of service ingrained in him, he was successful in his medical line and soon became a doctor. He was for some time the editor of a medical magazine at Trichinopoli. He proceeded to Malaya to serve the sick and poor as a hospital doctor there. He started his career with zeal and enthusiasm never heard of before. He cured the incurable. He was the friend of the poor. Even in those days, he treated them free of any fee or charged the rich only to serve the poor with those earnings. He helped everyone in the best possible way. He had the power of curing diseases with his kind and sweet words. His charitable nature made him spend all that he was earning. He was having a lucrative practice and was the most efficient doctor in that land, known commonly as the Dayardra Hridaya. Even then, he would serve milk, fruits, and other needs to the poor and depressed without any discrimination. Renunciation. A call from the Lord to lead a life of service and dedication stirred the heart of this noble doctor. This turned him completely sick of home, relations, and the surroundings, and made him decide to lead the life of a mendicant, bidding goodbye to family ties. Thus he was destined to become the greatest saint, a modern prophet, and a compassionate, loving father to all. Who could understand then that this young physician was born to lead these millions of people? A doctor who could serve only a few hundred by curing physical ailments is now serving millions all over the world by curing mental sicknesses. Dr. Kuppuswamy quietly walked out of the house one night like Lord Buddha, relinquishing all his worldly enjoyments, to plunge into this vast world with no thought of what he would become or where he was going. 1922 was the important year when he left his home with only some bare necessities and roamed about first all over the South Indian pilgrim centers and gradually came to the north, Benares and other holy shrines. Sometimes he walked and sometimes he traveled by train, whichever was possible. He always carried with him a jhola, bag full of medicines, and some nuts or mishri to be distributed for the sadhus. With only these and a small brass bucket and a danda stick, he walked up to Kailas, Badrinath, Kedarnath, and all other punyakshetras, holy places, not caring for the hardships, giving discourses on yoga and Gita. Temples gave him shelter. He lived on alms got from the kind pilgrims. He slept on pavements, under the trees, or in caves. His kirtans and divine praises comforted and protected him. At last, after visiting all the holy shrines in India in the year 1924, he reached the banks of the sacred Mother Ganga at Rishikesh, where the Mother Ganga and the Father Himalaya greeted him and welcomed him to be their companion. Seeing the nature's charm which shone and sparkled like lightning, and the majestic Himalayas offering him a seat and asking him to settle down there to open the gateway of spiritual awakening in the land, this young saint made up his mind to settle down there. Sannyasa. In the same year, he met a sadhu by name Swami Vishwananda, who blessed this young man, finding spiritual qualities in him. The Swami was struck with this young man's vairagya, bhakti, and other ascetic qualities and offered to give him sannyasa. A formal ceremony was performed, and this young doctor, full of vairagya, entered into the holy order of sannyasa, and since that day he has been known as Swami Shivananda. On the opposite banks, where now stand the Swargashram and the Gita Bhavan, this young tapasvi started his severe sadhana. Shivananda Swami was already 36 years of age by then. Without fear or hunger, meditating in silence according to the ancient scriptures to attain God realization. En route to Badrinath, he started a dispensary for the pilgrims where he would treat and nurse the sick pilgrims and the neglected sick sadhus. Shiva's heart opened to one and all. He took pleasure in serving them this way. He took no food, nor did he sleep for days together. Seeing this sadhu by the side of the gushing Ganga, passers-by offered some rotis, bread, in his patra, vessel. Shiva would soak these dried rotis in the sacred waters of the Divine Mother Ganga and eat them to keep himself alive, to serve humanity. Shivananda was filled with God's presence. He drank only the divine love. For days together, he would not wake up from his samadhi, but whenever he woke up from his intense sadhana, trance, after 2 or sometimes 3 days, he would stand in the Ganga up to neck and pray and come out, attend to the sick, eat some dried rotis soaked in the Ganga water, and go back to his severe and intense meditation. His needs were none. His intense desire was to have Lord's darshan. He wanted to see God face to face. Thus he spent 6 long years in continuous meditation in a small hut at Swargashram on the banks of the river Ganga. Shiva's hunger and thirst for God's darshan had increased, and he could no longer wait. Shivananda was in God's raptures and spiritual ecstasy. For days and nights at a stretch, he remained in this state. Words are inadequate to narrate. O children on this holy land, in the valley of Rishikesh, in the presence of the sparkling Ganga and grandeur of the Himalayas and the twinkling moonlight night, all witnessing our beloved Swami Shivananda beheld the unbelievable, the most magnificent form of Lord Shiva himself. Om, Om, Om. Omkara Nada was resounding from all the corners. With tears of joy filled in his lucky eyes, gazing at his figure with eager, hungry look, Shivananda fell flat at the lotus feet of his beloved Lord. He became thrilled with vigorous pulsations of a new life and intense joy. Kneeling to him in silence with emotion of bhakti, he prayed for his mercy. Seeing this bhakta's immeasurable devotion, love, and purity, highest expression of divinity, Bhagwan Shankar spoke in human voice. Get up, my beloved child. You have a gigantic task and a stupendous work before you. You are to be the large banyan tree to give shelter to millions of human souls, impart knowledge of truth, jnana, and bhakti. This world is sorely in need of a seer like you. The religion must be evolved out of simple philosophical thoughts. At this critical moment, you have to act like a beacon light in order to illuminate the path to the highest bliss. You will have to act as a true, brilliant representative from heaven. You will get success in your undertakings, my child. You are bound to achieve grand success. Thus charging Shivananda with the spiritual power, the Lord of Kailas disappeared. So you see, Nectar's children, our Swamiji is not just an ordinary man. Who is there in this Kali Yuga who could meditate till he got Lord's darshan? The enlightened sage, with fullest sparks of wisdom and peace, once more entered the life of activity to unlock the domain of moksha. Swami Maharaj doesn't believe in keeping matted locks and a long beard, nor does he advocate shaving off their heads for spiritual attainment. He says, be as you are, but shave the mind with the safety razor of vichara. Shaving the heads is nothing. Of course, it helps to keep you cool and free. Shaving the egoism and vasanas from the mind with the gillette blade of meditation is what is necessary.